Welcome everyone.
Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their quarterback who played his college ball at Western Kentucky. He was a Hilltopper. It's Mike White.
And you'd think as a young QB there'd be some nerves leading an offense out to start a game, but haven't seen any sign of them right now. And speaking with him earlier this week, sensed that the pressure wouldn't get to him. He feels comfortable being the face of this offense and shouldering the expectations on game day, even if he doesn't quite have the years of experience other quarterbacks do.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
White looks to throw.
He completes that to Garrett Wilson.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Well, that's one way to convert on third down, picking up 26 yards.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice play.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24.
On second down, a run with Hall.
And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Now White lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away.
Fielded at about the 28. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10.
Philly's offense getting ready, and Jalen Hurts ready to lead them. The second-round pick who started his career at Alabama, then finished with an electric senior season at Oklahoma.
Tremendous production in college at 2 different universities, and this is a guy who was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Still much more of a runner than a thrower, but has plenty of arm and is capable of making the big throws downfield. And don't underestimate his ability to think the game. Remember, he's the son of a coach.
They start on the ground here at Sanders. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a 1st down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. He did it to perfection.
And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. Open man downfield is Sanders. He's got him. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, 43 yards. And the Eagles get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield of the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. A drive there of just 4 plays, and it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. Back on the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Now Hall to start the drive. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Here's White. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Multiple defenders in there to bring him down as this quarter comes to an end. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Jets with the football here to start the second quarter. On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann. And it's fielded at the 34. Returns 66 yards, and it goes the distance. And the Eagles are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Hey, rookie, that's the way to make an impression. Return one for a touchdown.
Yeah, welcome to the party. We saw him fielding those punts before the game, and he just had a little bit of a look in his eye, didn't he?
He did. He was a confident young man, and now we know why.
Elliott now to have the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. The Jets offensive unit ready to get going here. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. On 2nd and 9. White, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And they take over already 5 yards deep into the red zone at the 15-yard line. And a defensive-minded coach loves to turn up the heat, turns it up there, and pays off.
And back in the good old days, those defensive-minded coaches just talked about intimidating teams, using force, right, beating them to the punch. In this case, they're talking about creating turnovers. That's all they preach, all game long, all practice long, every meeting. Get the football. That's what they want.
Calling a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Eagles have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Well, I don't think that we're ready yet to say the route is on, but they have certainly looked near flawless here in this first half, and now an extra point away from making it 21-0.
Yeah, and your experience led you to say that, because we have both seen those 21-0 leads come and go in this league, but this one feels pretty darn secure. And here's the other part. Even when people chip away at it, it forces you into being almost perfect on the other side, doesn't it, in order to try and mount a comeback.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. And now out come the Jets. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here, because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. They'll run with Hall. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
Now the Jets send on Braden Mann to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And we'll see what he can do on the return. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 6 yards there on the keeper at 2nd down. Now that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. the pickup, first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action.
Come on. Hey.
They'll throw on first down with Hurts. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A.J. Brown, 44 yards. And the Eagles are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
It's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And, CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away. But this one might be over by halftime.
And since you already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Elliott good on the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. So that drive, 4 plays, and it's capped off by an A.J. Brown touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. And New York set to take the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Another try after the first down sack. White, that pass complete to Moore. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They'll need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. On 3rd down, here's Hall. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos. They deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised him a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped him well short of a first down.
This will be fielded at the 17. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime.
It's one play at a time, baby. Let's go now.
They'll throw now on the final play. He's going deep for Brown. He's got it at the 15. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, there you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go.
First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from that first half for the Jets. And not much went right in those first 2 quarters. You can see the numbers on the ground there. Not a whole lot to write home about so far.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. He's past the 30. He will score. Touchdown, Eagles. So how about the game he's having? He had the punt return earlier for a touchdown. Now the kick return to balance things out.
And oftentimes, guys who are on punt return and kickoff return, many of them are the same guys. And they're devoted to a return guy who can break big plays. And when that happens and they know it's there, they're going to block that much harder and be that much more skillful, as well as utilizing his talents. And this is what you get. Punt return, kick return, a huge game.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that makes this 35-0 now. Well, we talk a lot about explosive plays on offense. How about an explosive play on special teams? Certainly one there on the kick return for a touchdown. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. Here's the Jets offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
On first down, it's White. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Steps away to his left. Able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Hall ought to give up the middle. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll be the call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, they're hoping the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Here's the Jets punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken around the 12. 35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. It'll be Sanders to begin the drive.
And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going deep for Brown. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The New York set to take the field.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer. Now White lost the football. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
Here's the Jets punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. And taken at the 46. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. A good head-down running on the return gets about 15 yards. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
It's a second down run with Sanders. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. They got to get it to the 21 here on third down. Sanders toss left side. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders, 26 yards. And the Eagles continue to run up the score. They lead it big here in the fourth. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all three phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Elliott good on the extra point, and it is 42-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. And New York set to take the field. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Now White. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now fourth down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Here's the Jets punter now as he's on to kick it away. And he's able to get it out of there. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
99 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
They'll try and run for it with Sanders. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. 10 yards there and an Eagle 1st down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. 14-yard line, 2nd and 11. Here comes Sanders on the toss right. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. Give them a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Hurts. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Well, at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there was a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. Well, he wasn't really big on that. He was big on go ahead and scoring. He's got reincarnated right here. We're watching it in front of us.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. And New York set to take the field.
Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film.
Now White lost the football, but I think Jet was able to recover, and they'll keep possession thanks to a heads-up play.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
That'll go as a loss of 9, and it leads to 3rd down. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down.
Please turquoise drinking coffee.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. Fielded at the 43. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And this offense set up with a very short field. 1st and 10 inside the 20.
Philadelphia's offense ready to go again. Well, they don't need to score here, that's for sure. They could just kneel it. They've got the huge lead late 4th quarter, but we'll see how they're feeling, Charles.
Yeah, we all know people out there who like to use every second of the clock, no matter what the score. And we know they don't need the points. They've scored in abundance already. Let's find out how they want to finish this ball game.
And he is going to lose yardage here.
That was Carl Lawson in pursuit that time, and he gets the stop.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And this is going to be intercepted.
Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets come up with a late turnover. But it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over.
So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was that they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory.
Thanks everyone for watching.